Welcome to Transformation Thursday, where we focus on spiritual formation. This channel exists for one reason: to help men who feel stuck get unstuck. Mentally, emotionally, relationally, spiritually, practically. Here, I try to bring together sound psychological principles, timeless biblical truth, and real-life coaching strategies that actually work in the real world. No emotional manipulation, no fluff, no pretending, just formation. And today we're talking about something that was overlooked for far too long: strength without restraint. Because uncontrolled strength doesn't make you powerful, it makes you dangerous. Dangerous to your marriage, your kids, your career, dangerous to your witness. Real strength isn't about how hard you can push. It's about how well you can govern yourself. So let's talk about why unrestrained power destroys what it was actually meant to protect. Let's get to work. Growing up, most of us were taught to be strong, to work hard, stand tall, don't quit, don't complain, and don't, under any circumstances, show weakness. And all of these are good. But nobody taught us how to govern that strength. Nobody taught us how to regulate our emotions, how to manage our anger, how to slow our impulses, how to think before reacting. And that's exactly why James tells us, "But know this, my beloved brothers, everyone must be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. For the anger of a man does not achieve the righteousness of God." God knew, and James wrote, that unmanaged emotions would sabotage righteous living. So God commands regulation before reaction. Here's the big idea today. Unrestrained strength becomes a threat, not an asset. Power without discipline always turns inward, or worse, outwardly destructive. That's why Proverbs says, "He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who captures a city." God said, "The man who can govern himself is stronger than the man who can conquer nations." Not louder, not tougher, not more intimidating, just mastered. Psychology confirms what Scripture already teaches. When emotional arousal overwhelms executive function, behavior becomes reactive instead of intentional. In simple terms, when emotions spike, thinking shuts down. It's like your brakes fail. Your impulses take over. And Solomon warned us about this in Proverbs 29:11. "A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man quietly holds back." Full venting is foolish. Restraint is wisdom. Research shows us that low impulse control predicts relational conflict, issues in the workplace, substance abuse, violence, and infidelity, along with financial recklessness. Multiple studies show us that unregulated men self-destruct. Masculinity without strength is simply immaturity. And strength is not proven by expression. Strength is proven by regulation. That's why Paul told Titus, "Urge the young men to be self-controlled." It's not enough to be motivated. It's not enough to be gifted. You have to be controlled. A man who always says what he feels isn't honest. He's just untrained. He has no emotional muscle, no internal braking system, no discipline. He just reacts. That's not authenticity. That's instability. There's a well-known metaphor. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And a lot of people completely misunderstand it. It's not saying it's better to be a gardener than it is to be a warrior. It's saying that it's better to be a warrior who knows how to live in peace than someone without the ability to wage war. You should have the capacity for strength, for confrontation, for leadership, for protection. But it has to be under control. Carl Jung called this integrating the shadow, owning your power without letting your power own you. Power plus mastery, not power plus ego. About 25 years ago, I had this Ford Bronco. I loved this Bronco. It had the big Ford engine, Edelbrock intake, Holley 4-barrel carburetor, glass packs, and big beefy tires. There was only one problem. Anytime that I would really get on the gas, when I was on the asphalt, a wheel would literally fall off. You see, I kept breaking the spindles that drove the rear wheels. Because I loved the power, I kept doing damage to the structure. Going full throttle actually came at a great cost, and I did a lot of damage. But I got really good at replacing the spindles. Ducksworth and Siegelman showed that self-discipline predicts success better than IQ. They're saying that it doesn't matter how smart you are, it matters how much you can control yourself. Siegel showed that emotional dysregulation shuts down rational brain systems. Translation, if you can't regulate, your intelligence will not save you. Your giftings will not save you. Your callings will not save you. Which is exactly why Scripture keeps emphasizing control. Because God cares about sustainability, not just intensity. Here's where the biblical and psychological patterns intersect. First, strength is God-given. Second, restraint is God-developed. It has to be developed. Without restraint, strength manipulates. It becomes anger, control, or manipulation. The unchecked man hurts people. James already warns us of this. The anger of a man does not achieve the righteousness of God. Mature men govern themselves before they govern anything else. So now let's make this personal. Ask yourself, where am I strong but undisciplined? Where do I vent instead of govern? Where do I react instead of respond? Where am I ignoring James 1:19? Where am I violating Proverbs 29:11? Who pays for my lack of restraint? My wife, my kids, my coworkers, my ministry, my health? Because somebody always pays. This is why this channel exists. Not to emotionally manipulate you, certainly not to entertain you, not to stroke your ego, but to help you get unstuck, to help you become regulated, rooted, grounded, to make you dangerous in the right way, strong but submitted, powerful but disciplined. It exists to make you war ready. If this helped you, share it, subscribe, but most of all, stay in the fight. And remember, real men do not just build strength, they build restraint. Be a real man. Be different.